5 kilobits per second,
Oh my
or
god,
five
that's so many
5,000.
kilobits.
5,000.
No.
I
I was
mean,
about to say five.
Okay,
Five.
slight difference there.
yes.
How is
Right
it
now
like?
I'm
Five is
streaming
what
at
we
5
used to
meg.
stream when he
I
started
was
up.
gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say that's my Ustream days.
Is it better? Yeah, it's great.
All right. All right. So things should
All
hopefully be
right.
better. You guys are looking at my point of view.
Okay.
Oh, I should get the initiative out of there. There you go.
I actually used that one time as an example that lies aren't always evil.
Hmm.
Nope. Anyway, anyway, let's continue on.
Yes,
Just wrapped up that lovely conversation between Al and Patrick. Oh wait, no, Al, you wanted to when you get out a little bit closer to Tolkeen,
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to gather everyone up, right?
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Sure.
Okay. Um. So we'll say it's a few hours out. Al would actually he'd probably ask if either if he's driving or if like Tom's driving, ask like if we can stop for a moment because Al wanted to discuss plans.
Yeah, sure. I'm
All
cool with
right.
that.
You're able to find a little small clear area where you can rest the behemoth, and everyone is able to assemble in pretty much the main kitchen area where there is enough chairs either around the kitchen table or on the nearby sofa of the adjacent living room. And the behemoth is a very large robot, but it is not nearly as vast and as large as your spaceship, a sentence I never thought I'd ever say when we started this campaign. Um, so everyone is still going to be able to hear each other and converse with each other and be comfortable.
Okay. Um, when everyone's there, Al would say, "So, all right, I've been thinking, and we're headed to Tolkien, and we have obviously some things that we need to take care of, like the Baron. Um, I suppose first things first. Do we just plan on? I assume we're going to hit some sort of checkpoint or something. Do we just want to say we found them like this? We think it's magical. We're not quite sure what to do with it. Can we just leave them in a hospital, and then find a hospital and leave them there? Is that kind of our strategy with this?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Is it right during? Oh, sorry. No. You go first. You finish your sentence first, Bryn. Sorry.
I do recall us mentioning leaving some armor and maybe a weapon or two, but that was when we were talking about leaving him in the wild. So Tom's gonna shrug.
Yeah, I think just leaving him in the care of someone who can take care of him would be better.
Yeah.
Is it right if I have NPCs pipe up during
Yes.
this?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So Blink will say, will say she'll scratch her elbow as she pipes up. Honestly, I think that's the easiest solution. From my understanding, talking with you, Tolkien is a pretty large city. It's safe. It's protected. If it's got a hospital, then they can easily take care of him until he wakes up. And as far as deceit, she says the simpler the lie, the easier everyone's going to be able to, say the same thing. So, yeah, on our way down, we came across him. We think it's some sort of, we don't know what's the matter with him. But here's the thing, she says, he looks dead to everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how are we going to explain that we don't know he's dead? That we know he's not dead?
And actually, Inferno, this might take a bit of I need a bit of GM input on this, but from Al, from a doctor's point of view, is there something he could be like, okay, I check his vitals, I look at everything, he's dead, but he's not growing cold, or he's not decomposing, or he hasn't hit rigor mortis. Like there's something really weird. He's not behaving like a dead body should over time, kind of thing.
Yeah, give me a moment. I want to just quickly go into my notes and read the exact description of that death mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
That might give me some sort of um, something to work with in regards to that. The decomposing thing for sure, right?
Hmm.
But the other stuff, as far as vital signs and stuff goes, I just need a moment. Oh, Max Perry's. You and your crazy mushrooms. You were so fun. You could come across more of them. Who knows? You guys know what to deal with them now, though. Which is good.
Yeah.
This has
Turned
been
water into wine and
foretold.
set him on fire.
We will fight more Max Perry. Max Perry
I
are the
don't know if
swarm.
I don't know if I ever told you guys that I wasn't part of that session, but I was listening to it while I was driving. And when Patrick came up with that idea, I had to pull over because I was laughing so hard.
What idea was that again?
You basically dropped water on their heads, turned the water to wine, and then set them on
All
fire.
right, that's right. That was
It's
great.
great. So, So let me tell you this, Squee.
Mm-hmm.
When you ran your tests in the spaceship, the medical equipment you had in that bay, more specifically the bioscanner that you had installed in the medical bay there, was able to confirm very, very, very faint signs of brain activity. However, during your travels here in the Behemoth, you decide to run, we'll say during your off time or whatever, another diagnostic check,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't find with the bioscan, the handheld bioscan unit that you have,
Mm-hmm.
you are unable to find those same signs.
Okay.
With the exception of his body should be rotting or bloated, he, like, there is no blood flow. There is
Oh,
no brain activity.
okay. So a couple questions.
You can't feel a pulse or a heartbeat.
Couple of questions. And I'm kind of surprised I know this, but there's certain things like when a body does, it enters rigor mortis. Has his body entered a rigor mortis state? Like
Yes.
been okay? Has blood pooled on the bottom of his body?
Yes.
Oh, so basically everything. Hmm. But he's in his body is dead cold, all that stuff.
His body is cold, yes.
Okay.
His lips are
So
blue, the whole thing.
okay, so then Al would probably say, we just simply tell them that as a trained doctor, I've encountered dead bodies before, and while this one shows all the signs of being dead, um, the one thing that is different, that is very unusual and very weird, is that we've had this body for quite some time, and it is not decomposing at all. It is not getting bloated. It's not releasing any sort of those, Al kind of stumbles, nasty smells that you would normally encounter from decomposing bodies.
August takes off his glasses and he cleans it. He says, initially in a snooty voice, but then his tone calms down a little bit. And he says, well, if I have an understanding, if anyone was assuming any sort of supernatural force was involved, it would be that it was preserving preserving the body, not necessarily keeping it alive. What is to stop this hospital from moving him to the morgue and burying him alive?
Al's eyes kind of widen a little bit. All right.
Alicia sighs and she says, so we can't just say we found him. We'll have to explain that there's some sort of magic keeping him alive.
Yeah. I mean, are Max Perry... Tom will look over to Patrick. Are Max Perry's, known around here?
Patrick looks over to Tom and goes, I really just found out their existence when you found them.
Feck.
Not
Well,
much else about them.
maybe
All right.
what we could say is we found some mushrooms and we took him on as a refugee to get him to the next town, and he got into our food stores and he ate a mushroom that made him seem like he's dead. No, we can't say that. Because then they'll think he just poisoned himself.
What if we did something like this? We tell them we know what the mushrooms do. We say maybe he was a simple bandit or something of the kind that was intending to cause us harm. Oh God, I was like, all right, bear with me. What if we're a bit more truthful? This man wanted to hurt us. We subdued him, but we couldn't trust him to just let him go. We also didn't want to just abandon him in the wilderness where he would die anyway. So we used a mushroom to keep him sedated, and we are dropping him off here because we no longer know how to care for him, nor do we have any desire for a man who tried to kill us.
Or time. But don't forget to say magic. Magic mushroom.
Al nods and goes, but what's the downsides to this? We're admitting that he tried to kill us. We're admitting that we drugged him. If it's self-defense, I don't see a big problem with that, but...
Besides him knowing that we dropped him off here, that's about it. Of course, when he wakes up, he will question what happened.
What if we just handed him over to the authorities? Like, hey, who's in charge of bandits in this area or whatnot? And then just explain to him that this man tried to attack us. We subdued him. We didn't have any proper way of restraining him that made us feel confidence, and we thought this was better than killing him.
Yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do that. And if they somehow were to go onto the behemoth and say, "Oh, hey, what you have all this narcotics and everything," we could just say we just came from Ishpeming and stocked up before we got here, but he attacked us before we got there, or something like that. I don't know.
Wait, narcotics? Blink says we have narcotics.
The stuff that you have to give me every year or so, Al.
Oh, the anesthetic. Well, yeah, but that's medical supplies, right?
Yeah, that stuff. I meant that.
You're saying...
I meant that. Yeah. Why
Blink
didn't we?
says if...
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you first.
Why didn't we just give him this at the time instead of actually faking his death? Yada yada yada.
Blink says, I doubt they'll do a search of the behemoth, since I've noticed the security protocols in the major cities that we've been to, notably Ishpeming, and I'm assuming Tolkeen does something similar, which, considering our behemoth has weapon systems, we will not be able to walk it into the city proper. There'll be some sort of security checkpoint where it will have to be parked or left behind, yes? And in doing so, we'll have to cart out the corpse of the Baron and explain that it isn't actually a corpse. And maybe then we hand it off to the authorities, as Al suggested?
Yeah? That sounds good. I like that. What do you guys think?
And honestly, there's enough truth in there that we aren't technically lying about it, which means that, you know me, I'm not averse to lying, but as Blink said, simple lies are the best, and no lies are even better when it comes to maintaining the story.
Yeah. And you know what? It would be out of our hands. We did all we could do.
It's true.
I mean,
Blink gives a bit of a smile and she says, he is a bandit. Well, he was the king of bandits, the king of criminals. He's just away from home.
yeah. Oh, shit, that just reminded me. And Tom's gonna kind of lean back on where he was sitting and he's gonna put his head in his hands. Oh, shit. So, we were getting in bed with the Baron, and that didn't work out. And now we came back to Earth and got in bed with essentially the same thing down here, the black market.
Blink gives a like she sits up straight and her eyes are blinking furiously. She says, "What do you mean?"
Oh, well, black market are kind of assholes.
Blink looks very displeased.
Al will look at Blink and he'll sit down and he'll say, "Here on Earth, we are wanted by one of the most powerful governments that exist. If we are to find ways to stay ahead of them and stay off their radar, by definition, we typically needed help from those who are also considered like us. The problem is that sometimes that tends to draw people who don't have our same morality. But all
Blink.
we're
Mhm.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Uh,
No. You finish.
Al will hold up his hand, but all we are doing for the time being is getting information packets on the movements of the coalition and new IDs. We should not have any actual dealings with them like we did with the Baron. At least
Yeah.
nothing that close."
That is true. We just sold them stuff.
Blink several times, and she looks to Al and to Patrick and to Mila and to Tom, and she says, "Is this what you told yourselves before you accepted that Mars mission from the Baron? That you needed a friend?" She stands up. "Are we done with deciding what to do with the Baron?"
I think so.
Good. I'll be in my quarters.
Al leans back after she goes, "Well, that didn't go well."
And I didn't even realize it until now. I'm an idiot.
No.
Alicia gives a shrug and she says, "Well, you can't unring that bell. She'll either understand in time or she won't."
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking along those lines, we have been forced to not sure force is the right word, but we have found ourselves in a lot of gray situations lately. Situations that, like with the Baron, have caused me to make some decisions I'm not happy with one way or the other. I know we need to get rid of the Baron, and I believe, too, it would be nice to stop by our old friends at Parents Post, make sure everything's going okay. If nothing else, drop off some gifts in those movies to the endless storytellers. Lord knows that they deserve it. But I wanted to ask something.
Mm.
Given lately that we have been dealing with forces that make us, I'm pretty sure, all feel a little bit like Blink has a right to judge us. There is something else I would like to do, which is of a less gray nature. I want to cure Morn. I've been doing what I can to learn more about it, and I know Lee says it's impossible, and maybe he's right, but if we were going to find any way to do it, any leads on how to do it, Tolkeen might be one of our best shots.
Morin, August says. "Oh, is that the one that your drunk teacher was rambling on about when Mila was meeting her strange teacher?"
Yes.
Huh. Seems a lot safer than what we've been doing recently. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. She's a shifter very similar to Lee in that she can open up ley lines and essentially take us to another place. But during one of her travels, something happened and she kind of half went insane ish.
I don't think it's her that I honestly don't think we've met Morn. We've met her body with something else inside it.
Interesting concept.
It's the only way I can imagine it.
Do you think it's another possession entity? Alicia asks. And she looks mostly towards Patrick during this.
Oh, I wasn't gifted enough to notice. It's possible she did mention a lot of things about being above our kind and talking to insects. Like we were insects and she was the sun, I believe.
I don't remember that. It's been a while. It's been more than a year, actually. Right? Right.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah.
Al says, kind of thinking back, he says, actually, she said that we were like ants trying to reach out to the sun. That's how below her we were. How little we understood her.
Well, kind of starting to sound like possession entity. And you know what? We didn't actually look at her through any see invisible goggles or anything like that.
True. Though I do want to point out one big difference. Morin never showed a sense of ego. When she said that, it was more like she was simply stating a fact and less being condescending. I don't know if this thing is exactly malevolent the same way that being that possessed Killian is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it also depends on if all possession entities are the same, if they don't have different personalities and that kind of thing,
course.
too.
You reminded me of something. May I be excused?
Yeah, sure. Go do whatever.
Right.
What's Patrick doing? Go do whatever.
Thank you for the chat for reminding me. I've always meant to do this, but right on, guys. Patrick is going to send Lee a pigeon saying that we're currently at Tolkeen, and that we're back on Earth.
Would he tell the others what he's doing?
If anybody's asked him, he would definitely say it, but I'm not quite sure if he would explain it. But
I would say that Al would at least be like, so what you gonna go do, Patrick? You okay? Because Al did want to get everyone's input on this, so he would at least wonder what Patrick was gonna do.
Yeah, yeah. If Patrick leaves, I know definitely. Not August, but Alicia will pipe up and be like, "No, I'll have Bear pipe up and be like, is the meeting over?"
That sounds like
I'll
Bear.
be right back.
Al
need to send a message.
Al will hold up a hand. Wait, if you're contacting Lee, that's one thing I was gonna say. If we want to try and cure Morn, and I really do, I don't think we should tell Lee. Not until we have something to go on. He already tried and he already failed, and we all know how he feels about trying again. If we get his hopes up and we can't find a solution, it could break him.
Patrick looks back blankly and go, I'm just going to tell him that we're back. He didn't ask us to do that.
Okay.
Don't worry. As Patrick awkwardly says that and walks out of the room.
Al nods and he goes, look, I'm asking for help because I don't really know where to go from here, but the truth of the matter is the Baron, Northern Gun, the black market, we've been dealing with some shady people and doing some gray things. And here's a girl that needs our help and no one but us even knows or cares about it. And if it's possible, I'd like to do something to help her.
where Patrick was, there was a wisp of air blowing.
I mean, the NPCs can give their opinions, but I can't speak for Criana. The only other player character here is Tom.
And
So-
he is not paying attention. Aw, yeah.
Okay, well, then I'll let the NPCs answer for the rest of the group. So go fuck yourselves, I guess.
No. I was making it so that literally Tom is not paying attention because he is realizing, oh fuck, what have we just done? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean.
In regards to
it-
blank.
No, in reference to, oh god, we just dealt with the Baron, and now we just got into bed with essentially the network on Earth. And all of that weight is coming down upon him like, oh shit. Same thing like, I wasn't purposefully trying to be cold towards Mila last session. I was playing Tom as if, Al's got it, without realizing, oh, he doesn't have a radio. Like, if he really needed help, he would have radioed in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just explaining myself.
So, tell you what, let's end the little meeting scene then with at least the NPCs agreeing that, yeah, the next step, the next goal, they're fine with helping Morin. Though, I mean, a few NPCs have no idea where they are, but this does not sound like a dangerous prospect yet, as compared to a lot of other decisions that you guys could make. So they're fine with it. Alicia knows of Morin, so she's fine helping the girl. If there is any help, she will express her concerns that she remembers that everyone in New Laszlo tried to figure out what was going on, but they couldn't figure it out. But then she corrects herself, but we've been to fucking space and back, so maybe we know more than they do.
Well, Al would say to Alicia, I've also been wondering how motivated New Laszlo was to find a solution. She is incredibly useful to them the way she is.
Mm-hmm. She nods.
But Al says, yes, I am fully aware this could be a wild goose chase.
Okie dokie. All right, so I'm going to switch there to Patrick. What exactly is the message that you're going to send to Lee?
Dearly, Patrick and friends. Dearly.
Okay.
I hope you are doing well. The gang is back, and we're currently traveling to Tolkeen. Best wishes, Patrick and the gang.
Okay. And with that, I'm going to take some creative liberty and say you either open the top hatch or the side door for the pigeon to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And as it materializes, it spins in the air once before taking off incredibly fast, 60 miles per hour, baby, directly to the east. And in a matter of minutes, it is out of sight, past the tree lines and into the horizon. So, shall I continue your travels to Tolkeen, my friends?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did everyone say what they needed to each other? You guys all feel like you're all on the same page in regards to immediate goals and future goals?
I think so.
Sure.
Groovy. Okay. So, as the rest of the travel to Tolkeen is incredibly simple and direct. In fact, all you need to do is follow in the proximity of the ley line, heading directly to the southwest. As you get even closer and closer, and the vegetation, the forests give way to farmland, give way to soft rolling hills. Soon you see in front of you, a few miles away, the first specks of the great free city of Tolkeen. Gonna drag your little player butts on over. Ugh, not to there. That's an old tile. Ugh, there we go.
Oh my.
So let me give you just a broad description of what you see as you approach Tolkeen. Jets of blue flame, ley lines course in to Tolkeen. Approximately 6 ley lines specifically, 4 of them being large, major, 30-foot tall ones that you yourself are traveling alongside. As you get closer and closer, above you and along all the other ley lines, you begin to see a very odd form of traffic. Boats floating on waves of blue, but not an ocean, but of lines of mystical energy. Glider boards, small personal craft, all floating in the sky, moving towards this great towered city. And towered it is, like something straight from a fictional book of fantasy. In the center is a huge, gleaming, white tower with black onyx rims around its circled top. Around it, instead of the advanced skyscrapers that you grew accustomed to in Ishpeming, they are towers, pyramids, and other such structures that look like they belong 4, 5, 6, 800 years ago. You see an intricate architecture, not the cold, sterile glass and steel of a modern city, of say a Chi town or of a Ishpeming, but inlays of gold, of statues, of gargoyles. As you get closer, a huge shadow encompasses the entire behemoth, and even through the ceiling you can hear a large whoosh of giant wings flapping. As soon as this figure passes above you, you see a large scaled, living, breathing dragon soar over you and head towards the city itself. Patrick, I'd like you to roll me an archaeology skill, please.
Archaeology. Got it.
Yes. As you approach and you see this visage that gets bigger and bigger the closer that you get, you make a stark realization. The amount of stonework, the amount of artistry that is found here in Tolkeen would typically take a regular human-sized small population centuries to build up. You have a very strong inkling that much of this must have been formed and shaped and harvested by magic, because otherwise that is the only rational explanation for the feats that you see before you, the architectural feats you see before you. I'm going to go a little narrative right now because you guys have gone through several checkpoints, the one at Parents Post, the one at Ishpeming, and I feel that there's no sense to really bog down this session with doing all the check protocols, if that's okay by you guys.
Yeah, that's
We will
Sure.
get to the main thing. We will get to the main thing in regards to the Baron. Suffice to say that the main, all traffic is guided from traveling from your direction towards the eastern quadrant of this city. And in this eastern quadrant, just before you see a big, beautiful, silver shimmering archway that's 20 feet high up in the air and 3 times as wide. Just before you enter that beautiful archway into the city proper is when you enter this security checkpoint. The security checkpoint is somewhat similar to Ishpeming in the fact that there are many lockers and secure facilities in which to hold personal weapons and large parking areas in which to store vehicles. There's one small difference, however. On each of these storage facilities, there appears to be rune words. Patrick, or any other person who has the lore magic skill, please roll me that skill check. Wow. Although you yourself cannot exactly decipher the runes, you have enough knowledge through your previous study to at least identify what the runes are. And they are 2 sets of runes. One as an alarm spell, which notifies an unknown individual if there's any sort of physical breach of the containers. And the second appears to be a warding spell against supernatural influence. Sorry, a warding rune against supernatural influence. You are able to store all mega damage weapons there. In addition, unlike Ishpeming, in which they had Psy Stalkers nearby to sense magic, instead you see many individuals, some of them with, a few of them with what appears to be official badges or insignias on their clothes, but they're not in any sort of official uniform. They almost seem ragtag as far as aesthetics go, although their equipment is extremely fine. What's also strange is that the majority of the security personnel aren't in any sort of body armor. There are a few, but they are definitely in the minority. Most of them are just wearing regular clothing. And it is those individuals who have regular clothing that when you do the check-in process, they begin to chant a spell. Unfortunately, the words to this spell is something that both Patrick and Al are unfamiliar with, but its effects are very clear. They identify your magic items to a single one, and any single item that you have, magic item, that has any offensive or mega damage capability, that includes blinding somebody, is also asked to be checked in.
That is super cool. I just want to say.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. So after that, the majority of your check-in process is very simple. The last thing, the second last thing, is that both Patrick, Mila, um, Al, and Tom are asked to wear a small identifier bracelet along their left arm. It's made of a very thin metal. It's almost like a strand of hair that's wrapped around your wrist. For For Al and Patrick, it is a copper wire. For Mila, it is what appears to be not silver, not platinum, a tin. There we go, a tin wire. And for Tom, it appears to be a gold wire. They
Ooh.
explain that these are identifiers in regards to what they call paranormal capabilities. There is nothing necessarily to be concerned about, but it is just a small security measure and tracking system that they use in case anything happens in this city that involves a mystical or psychic nature. Of course, which is also very interesting and very different from Ishpeming, is that they explain this process to you before they ask you to put it on, and they specifically ask for your consent in this. Do you guys
That's
consent to
cool.
this?
Tom will consent, and he will ask if it is necessary to say what kind of psychic he is.
That the person at the security gate who's been pretty much in charge of your process, the security process, gives you a thin smile and says, "Not at all. We believe in private discretion. You may explain to us if you feel that it's important, but we respect your privacy." The piece of jewelry that we've given you is all that is required for us to maintain an appropriate level of law and order.
Okay.
Al
okay.
would. Oh, go ahead.
He will look at the jewelry and look back to him and look at the jewelry and, you know what, just to be on the safe side, I'm a burster. In
Burster.
Yeah.
She says, "I'm not familiar with that particular slang, but it implies it has some sort of conflagration or pyromatic capability. Am I correct?"
Yes.
I see. Wow. Are you in full control of your powers?
Yes.
Wonderful. Then we expect you to use them with as much responsibility and acknowledgement to individuals' freedom of liberty than they would give to you.
Of course.
Wonderful.
Al would consent, though while they're putting on, he would ask some questions. He would say, so this bracelet, is it magical in nature or simply a
Yes.
identify I see?
It is both. It is both magical in nature and a way as a quick identifier for any sort of law personnel.
And does everyone in the city that has this potential wear one?
With the exception of individuals that work for either the Tolkeen Police Department or the Supernatural Division, yes. She pauses for a moment and she says, however, the Council of 12 also doesn't wear such things. We're all very aware of their capabilities and they're pretty easy to find. In addition, our king does not wear one either. But everyone else does.
Al will nod,
This is a
thinking
kingdom?
thoughts to himself.
You have a council?
She says, yes, the Circle of 12, leaders that guide us in the growth of Tolkeen and protect us. Our king is less of a figurehead and more of an individual that works with the Council of 12. Think of one strong leader with a great cabinet of advisors.
Tom's going to turn over to Al. Dude, this place is cool. I'm glad that we chose to come here.
Al says in a very pleasant tone, "Who don't need to wear these?"
Yeah, so?
Mm-hmm.
What, it's just
Al
like getting
shakes his
that
head.
card in Ishpeming. That place that we were just
Al
at.
nods and he says, "Imagine it, a place where everyone's treated like equals. Would be nice." And I want to stress, Al is making no movements or anything to not consent.
Tom's smile will quickly fade. He'll roll his eyes and he will turn his attention somewhere else.
Are there any other questions for the security check?
No, not for me.
So no
Okay.
offensive things,
Mhm.
and that I can bring defensive things and things that
Yeah.
don't do.
And that don't blind, if I recall
For
correctly.
your levitation amulet, fine.
Yeah.
Ed is fine,
Mhm.
right? However, your flash ring, not so good.
Now you said
Blinding
mega
someone
damage.
is considered offensive in the free city of Tolkeen.
You also said mega damage capabilities. Like for example, those
Yeah.
gauntlets that have mega damage protection that would not
Correct.
work.
Correct.
That'd be checked in. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay. So
right.
no gold armor. Got it.
Mhm. And to be clear, as far as SDC items go, only they ask for absolutely no firearms whatsoever, and a small personal bladed weapon is permitted, although they assure that it is not necessary. They will not, but it is technically permitted.
Al would, just to be safe, he would pull out his neuroblade and he would explain how it works and make sure that that's fine.
They give a small smile and they say, unfortunately, it is not. That particular capability is seen as grossly unnecessary and harmful to an individual.
Al will nod and then place it in checking in the check department. And then one bladed weapon is what they said. So he will take one of
Single one, yeah.
ceramic space knives.
Okay. They examine it for a moment. A few of them make comments about its aesthetic and its material, but they find absolutely nothing wrong with it. They definitely don't sense any magic within it. So yes, you're more than permitted to have as such. Um, Oh, okay. Sorry, I had a brain fart there for a second. I'm like, there's something else we have to deal with. Oh yeah, the Baron. So this entire check through is fine until, of course, we get to the point where you understandably need to unload personal effects and yourselves into out of the vehicle. Now, if you have any personal vehicles like hovercraft or whatnot that don't have any weapons on them, you can take them into Tolkeen. However, I remember both the ATVs have weapons on them. I know Mila's bike, Melissa doesn't. Does the hover cycle have weapons on it? I believe it does. Doesn't it?
Both of them do, actually, yeah.
Yep. So no. So really, you guys are going to be pretty much on foot.
Mhm.
Suffice to say, as you bring what you need out of the behemoth to enter the free city of Tolkeen, of course, we'll say it will be Bear and Alicia that will bring out the body of the Baron. And I will definitely give you players the right of way to explain to the check-in exactly what's going on before they jump to any sort of conclusions.
Yeah, we're gonna need some. We're gonna have some splaining to do. Al, you're the guy that usually talks with this. I'll leave it to you. Right?
Al gives Tom a look and then
He's
says,
gonna make finger guns at him.
there is one more issue that we need to bring up to your attention and actually could use your help with, or at least information on where to proceed from here. We were attacked by this gentleman here. I believe he is a bandit of some sort. He tried to kill us and we subdued him. We didn't want to kill him ourselves, yet we weren't comfortable with him running around our ship for obvious reasons. So
Ship, she says.
I'm sorry. Al motions back to the behemoth.
Vessel.
It's vessel.
Mm.
And he says, we fed him a mushroom of a magical nature which feigns death for an unknown period of time. I'm not actually sure how long it lasts, but we felt it was the safest way to transport him to here. We didn't want to leave him in the wilderness without any way of protecting himself. That would be the same as killing him. And we certainly didn't want to let him go. We weren't really sure what to do, Al shrugs.
So the security individual, who, by the way, there are many individuals, but we'll say the main one that you've been conversing with most of this time, is a young woman who looks to be in her late 20s. A little, she has a bigger size nose than usual, but she has pretty soft green eyes, short hair like in a pixie cut, brunette hair.
Mhm.
And she says, "Well, that's awfully humane and understanding of you. We do respect that. However, is it all right if I give you some follow-up questions before we will let this?" And she kind of gestures to the unconscious body of the Baron. Before I'm able to permit this inside of our city, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if possible.
Of course.
The first is a matter of incidents. Is a matter of. It's a small, trivial matter, but it might be very reassuring to us. We understand the exterior world is a very hostile place. With the coalition, banditry, supernatural monsters, every time people leave our free, beautiful city, they take their lives into our own hands. Do you have any evidence whatsoever that this individual tried to harm you?
Al thinks about it for a moment and he says, "No, not that I think would be sufficient. He had, of course, not mega damage. He had, of course,
Mhm.
weapons and armor, but they're very commonplace as far as I can tell.
I
He
see.
didn't actually end up hurting any of us. We were able to subdue him before that happened, but
Hmm.
perhaps I don't know, actually."
That's fine, she says. When people when people react to exterior threats, they don't really look for evidence. I just thought I'd ask, hoping that you might be able to corroborate your story. But that's fine. What I'm more interested in is what you gave him to give him in such a state, because by the looks of his skin and how stiff he is, I would say you've been carrying around a corpse. Did you not inadvertently kill him by accident?
Oh,
Al, oh, yeah, go ahead.
I can definitely tell you where I obtained, or we obtained, the the um the fungi that we used on him. If
A fungus, you say?
I believe so. Um, it was. Do you know of a creature called a Max Perry?
She pauses for a moment and she gives a bit of a smile and she says, "I mostly studied interdimensional theory rather than monster taxiology. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that particular supernatural creature."
Oh, well, there are plenty of different fungi that they seem to use. I'm fascinated to know if they actually bred these fungi for specific use, but there's a particular one that seemingly would feign death for. I wish I could test it more, but this is not tested enough for me to know how long it would take for them to be in this state.
I
Um,
see.
but we do have a doctor to explain, at least to know that he's not dead.
Al says, actually, on that, when we first fed him the mushroom, there was, of course, all the appearances of death. He had very minimal brain activity. However, at the current time, he has no brain activity. He is showing many signs of a corpse, like you said. The only evidence I have, if that's what you want to call it, is the simple fact that we have had him for several weeks as we've tried to get over here, and he has not started to decompose in any way, shape, or form.
I see, she says. Well, I will take your explanation as truth for now. Give me a moment. She steps away for a moment and she goes to a nearby structure, disappears through the door, enters a few minutes later, once again addresses you and says, I've made contact with individuals at Mercy Hospital. You were permitted to bring this individual to there and explain to them what you told me. Then you can leave them in their care for them to treat this individual and study him. The only exchange for this is a detailed accounting of everything, since we here in the city in general, and especially those of the medical sciences, are very interested in any sort of ingestive material that can cause any sort of unusual effect, as she gestures over to the body of the Baron.
Of course. I have a question. Is there any way to, for all purposes, of course, give you any details that you would require, but to also keep our names from him? Perhaps if he wakes up, I'd rather he not know we are around, or if he gets angry that we subdued him. I would want to give any information you might need so that you can find us if necessary, but keep such information from him to prevent any. Al shrugs. We wouldn't want him coming back seeking revenge or anything like that.
She looks at all of you very carefully, and Al,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to roll me a charm check, please.
Sure.
Because this is not intimidating.
Succeed by 46.
She says, okay, tell you what. Let's ensure your complete anonymity, because regardless, we do not want to create any more of a problem. Tell you what. How about you step into our security facility? She gestures over to the short, squat stone building that she previously entered. You give me a full and utter recounting and debriefing, consent that I'm able to record you in this, and I will open up a confidential file that only members of the law of Tolkeen have any sort of access to. Then we will transport and check this individual in to Mercy Hospital, offer the relevant educational information to them, and leave anything involving you or your identities off the books.
You're muted, Squee.
Oh, I was about to say, if you just said you're muted, Inferno, I'm like, motherfucker, I'm going to have to repeat all of it.
I also.
Al looks
Sorry.
at the others.
Patrick, he's generally he looks like he's within thought. He doesn't seem frustrated, concerned, worried, or he has no negative face to him. And he
Negative face.
Negative face.
I'm sorry.
No negative emotions are being portrayed on his face. It looks like he's going through some sort of mental checklist.
Well, Tom is kind of rocking back and forth on his feet and kind of shrugging. And he will mutter to himself loud enough for most of them to hear. You know, it'd be really awkward if it really was just a dead body that we've been lugging around.
Al will nod, and then he'll look back at the security personnel and say, I'd be happy to.
Good luck!
So, we're going to just narratively do this part. If it's okay by you guys?
Sure.
Because you already kind of explained the generals to her, and there's no point making you guys repeat yourself or anything like that. So suffice to say, she takes you into the building, each of you into the building together. Into the building, she sets up a small digital recorder to pick up your voice. She asks a series of questions in which my only question is, do you guys give her a truthful accounting of what you know about the death mushroom, its effects, and where you got it?
Yeah, I don't see a reason not to, guys.
Yes. As well as Patrick would note, if you want to do any sort of study of it, I do still have a sample to show, though I would need it back.
She gets excited with the sample, less so much with the needing it back. Only because there's a very good chance the sample would be consumed in study, but it would be better than nothing.
I would say, Patrick, is there a way maybe to give them at least a piece of it or something
What
like
if?
that?
And Tom is going to interrupt. What if you let them study it, but then you get the research notes? Huh? Win-win? Huh?
Patrick does think about it. Well, it will. I wouldn't have the use for it, and I did work on it quite a bit. I can give you the research that I got from changing it. I don't have the original, let's just say, raw material. I've more refined it and took what the effects of it are the most potent, and condensed it into one bullet shell.
That.
May we have the bullet shell?
I'd have to go get it, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would also, what he said, I would really like the notes for that.
She says that can be arranged. The only problem is that understanding this material will not be overnight.
Yes.
It might take a matter of weeks or months, or maybe even a few years, maybe even a decade, depending on what it is, to fully understand it. But tell you what, the chief medical examiner and study. Well, no, not medical examiner. That's not the right term. Give me a moment. I know. The chief exploratory biologist at Mercy Hospital is a woman named Melody Jacquer. If you ask for her, set up a meeting with her, and explain to her who you are and what you brought to her for her study, you can probably convince her, or at least communicate with her as often as you need to get her findings.
Thank you. I will do such things.
And here, I'm going to copy paste in Roll20 her name and title for you guys for your notes.
Oh, Jacqueline. Got it.
Hey, Burn,
Yeah.
do you think we could maybe set just a section up in the group loot where we just kind of write down names and things like this for all our references?
Yeah, where? Do you want it up,
I don't know.
down?
Yeah, you know what? Why don't we put it
Side
in
to side?
important group information? We've already got that
Well, yeah.
topic there, so
We
Can you
already
put
have
it
that.
like
Perfect.
on the east side of the paper?
No!
with blue italic.
Here. Let me
Sorry.
just copy this. No.
Because I mean, we use this group loot for so much. Might as well
Yeah.
also use it to keep our
All right.
awesome.
So, with that permit inside the free city of Tolkeen. Now, the large archway that I previously described,
Right there.
etched on the very top of the arch itself, says in American, "Welcome to the free city of Tolkeen." Above it is a script in Patrick recognizes this as Elven. also a dialect of Dragonese, that says the same thing. And underneath the American script is once again a series of runes. You're not too sure, you're unable to decipher exactly what they are, but they're clearly some sort of ancient mystical language. That's the best that you can decipher, Patrick. Otherwise, the city is before you. It is well organized. Let me just give a little bit more, few more general descriptions of the city before I kind of cut you loose in regards to a few things, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay. So the first thing that you'll probably notice, you'll also see them in the on the maps here, is those small black triangles. And what they are is small pyramid devices, only about as big, only about 1 foot in size. And they're stationed in areas where you would assume a lot of roadways would be. A lot of times they're either to the side of a road or down the center of main road thoroughfares or sidewalks. And they emit a very, very, very small blue light. Enough that many of these gliders and personal vehicles and even ships that you saw floating on the ley lines themselves can actually guide into the city and travel in between these triangles, almost like small miniature ley lines. However, you're unable to draw, you can feel that the energy is so faint, you can't draw any sort of potential psychic energy from it. It is only there in residual amounts, but apparently strong enough amounts to allow the locomotion of these very strange devices. You do recognize a few methods of locomotion, though, as gliders. Back when you were headed toward Tyrath's hidden temple, and you came across that techno wizard, who later was identified as a member of the House of the Golden Places, a part of Patrick's new fraternity. Zacharias Gilson, the techno wizard who sold you quite a bit of special ammunition, he was traveling on one of those gliders, and something very similar in design transports individuals across the city. In addition, the city itself has, as you can see by a little map here, kind of 4 main quadrants. There, of course, are buildings and whatnot in between these quadrants as well. But the majority of the residential and entertainment and industrial spheres are kind of mapped out here. The city is incredible, well, not incredibly large, but very large. Probably just by base estimation of your approach to the city, probably something very similar to the population of Ishpeming. The only big distinction is that although Ishpeming did have its share of a few DBs, it was very clearly majority human. This, you still see a lot of human faces, but you do see a whole lot of non-human faces as well. Non-humans such as elves, dwarves, and short squaws, in addition to beings that are clearly of alien and supernatural origin. To give you a few examples, you see individuals with big, leathery, brown, tough skin, completely bald with big, jagged teeth, towering 7 feet tall. Some of them wearing what's clearly no clothes, with the exception of something around their bathing suit area, one might say. But many of them are sporting pieces of bionics. You see individuals that seem to be made of pure crystal conversing on one corner. You see individuals that look mostly humanoid, with the exception that their legs are more of an amorphous blob and their skin is a translucent green, and so on and so forth. Patrick could stand on one corner and, well, any of you could stay on one corner, but Patrick is the most inquisitive type, to be fair, in this campaign so far, in regards to other species. So I'm just using it as an example. Patrick could stand on one corner of any area in Tolkeen and probably come across about 20 different species in a period of 15 minutes. When you were back in the market of, it is only the market of Splin that has had more varied and monstrously dominant population than Tolkeen. But surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, regardless of their shape, size, humanity, or inhumanity, everyone, for the most part, treats them like anybody else. There is no great riots. There's no swaths of murderous, massacres. Just a bunch of people doing business, living their lives. So, do you guys have a general idea or an objective that you want to meet first? Or do you want to wander the streets and see what hits you?
Well, Al would actually bring something up to Patrick when they're in the town. He would say, "Hey, Patrick, do we have any of the other types of mushrooms left?"
You catch him stepping away from the group, looking like he saw something and straying away, and then you catch him and go, "Oh, yeah, there should be quite a bit more. There's the dream one."
Well, I was simply thinking that if someone was going to research them, this would be a good place to do it as well. And if you bring, Al thinks for a second, this melody, the mushrooms yourself, well, if you bring them yourself and endear yourself upon her, it might be easier to get access to her notes, make things smoother, if you know what I mean.
Start a conversation. Make a friend.
To basically say, hey, I know they sent you this mushroom, and I had others as well that I wanted to bring you as well. I'm saying as well too much. But you get my point.
As well.
As well.
That's okay. I repeat things all the time.
No. Tom's going to
always
say
make
as
fun of
well,
me.
just to make fun of him.
Oh, poor Al.
Patrick goes, "Oh, you know what? She probably would. I mean, the whole purpose that we got these things was for someone to study these to begin with. I think somebody with similar interests would like to see them as well."
Al nods, and it makes a big difference if you hand them to her directly than if they just receive them through the security personnel.
Yes,
Yes.
that.
Other than that, Al doesn't have any exact motive or direction.
Patrick will actually stop out and go, "Hey, is it okay to teleport here, or is that like a no-go?"
Teleport?
I'm sorry, what?
You know
it's,
how...
it's in,
What?
Yeah, it's in the golden place.
Oh. I would... they let you have the bag, so I would think, yeah.
Well, here's a better idea, though.
Well, hold on.
Do you think...
Let us just double check. Inferno, they did let him have the bag, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Oh, God. Wait a second. No, wait a second. Because you could hide anything in there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
No,
not
they
even sure
wouldn't.
if I
They
have
wouldn't. No, I'm sorry. They wouldn't let him bring it in.
Yeah.
They don't have to check it in. They can stay on the behemoth. They wouldn't be allowed in. No. That'd be so easy to smuggle. No, dimensional pockets are not allowed.
Yeah.
I if that is the case, he would probably need to. Luckily, we discussed this at the checkpoint. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
about the whole bullet thing, and he would probably get it before then.
Yeah. Actually, it makes sense that we would do it because Al thought of it while we were discussing it, and Al purposely held his tongue so that Patrick could be the one to give the mushroom. So yeah, it would make sense he'd bring it up right after the checkpoint. And Al would also say, do you think your group has a chapter here? Might be worth it to check in with them.
Inferno, you did say that the House of the Golden Place was almost prevalent in this area.
I don't know about prevalent. I do remember when they let you know about the House of the Golden Place that they had individuals, agents, members, I guess you say, not agents. That sounds more nefarious. But they had members spread throughout North America, and definitely in Tolkeen. Yeah, Tolkeen would have been one of the names that they name dropped. Sure, yeah, definitely.
Now, is it one of those things where it's still underground, or is it one of those things where
very underground? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Remember that secret handshake that you got?
Yes.
That's the main identifier.
So they're not even like, they don't even have a place of
A chapter house, a guild house? No.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
interesting.
They probably have an organization, a community, like a guild maybe. But I'm going to give you a bit of a spoiler. When you pass through Tolkeen, you're going to see a lot of guild halls and fraternities and sororities of like-minded individuals, but none of them will be identified as the House of the Golden Place. They do not have a clear headquarters. They are a secret society.
Wow. Even here.
Neat.
That is pretty cool.
So, before we continue on real quick, I'm gonna throw something at you guys. And that thing I'm going to throw at you is a certain black-feathered pigeon that is coursing out of the eastern sky and heading straight for Patrick.
Oh, dang. That was fast.
Get your baseball mitt out.
There's no need for any sort of baseball mitts or fancy catching, because although a black feathered streak courses through the air, it definitely slows down as it gets towards Patrick. It lands on Patrick's soldier. Patrick has a soldier. Her name is Alicia. Anyway, Patrick's shoulder. It opens its beak, and you hear the familiar gruff voice of Lee Stooks that says, "Well, I'll be damned. It's good to hear from you. A lot has changed. A lot has gone on. I'm glad you're safe. Stay safe. And if you're back in New Laszlo, hit me up. There's a lot we need to catch up on." And the pigeon disappears in a puff of smoke.
Patrick, unknowingly to himself, is just like smiling to himself a bit.
That's cool.
Well, that sounds interesting. A little ominous.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Something about that message is just like not the a lot's changed in the way of I got a new haircut.
But what if he did, Pat? No, Al? Sorry.
My point is that the way that the tone of the message sounded like, not that Lee's in trouble, but certainly things are, I would not doubt that things are interesting for him.
Well, to be honest, I think it has something to do with this prophecy. Probably. You know, wink,
That's
wink, nudge, nudge.
probably a
You know
very
what
good
I'm
point,
saying?
yeah. Well, in any case, he's fine. He's doing
Yeah,
well. That's
good.
good. And we'll be sure to stop by and say hi sometime.
Sure as hell didn't sound drunk.
Bleh.
Al
The
says-
pigeon pukes on top before it disappears.
I take back everything I said. Let's not find Lee. He is a horrible person.
Once they're in the town, Al would say, it might be a good idea to find a contact and get a data packet so that we know what is going on in the area.
Right. What we need is a list of bars. That.
Okay. Let me help you out with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get a map?
So, that is definitely a possibility. Let me explain more in detail.
Yeah.
So, when you enter the main archway, the first area that you enter, that you're actually having this conversation in, is something that's called the Great Mall. If you look on the eastern quadrant there, I'm going to kind of point with my little pointer. Oh, God, no, I just moved everything. Oh, I'm the worst. Okay. My pointer. Where's my pointer? There it is. So right here is the archway, right? Right here is a second archway. Very similar in style. And you're standing like right here in the Grand Mall. And the Grand Mall isn't like the Mall of Michigan in regards to Ishpeming. It's kind of a strange name because there are quite a few affixed buildings everywhere. Some of them tented, some of them, actual structures. But the majority of this big open market area appears to be individuals selling things, goods and services out of the backs of trucks, out of the backs of cars, of hover vehicles, or really just makeshift stands on the street. And there's no great organization. A few of the tented areas, a few of the building areas have actual signs advertising, but most individuals simply bark out what they serve. For example, plagued by dreams, haunted by prophecy, our magic gems are guaranteed to give you a good night's sleep regardless of whatever supernatural force might ail you. Only 300 credits. Get them now. Only have 7 left. Another one calls out techno wizardry like you've never seen. If you can think it, I can build it. Another one calls out fresh flan kebabs from the farthest reaches and ingredients taken from another dimension, moved to your plate and soon to your stomach. I promise you, you've never tasted anything like this. And so on and so on and so forth. One of the individuals who barks the area, yes, flan kebab. Tom's super excited over that. But one of the individuals who shouts out, I guess you could say, an advertisement, is a short, squat, orange-skinned DB with 2 protuberances right over its eyes, almost like antenna, but they're much more thick and they have these round edges to it. And it's like directly over the eye where its eyebrows would be. And it rings out in a short, tinny voice. Rent airships for a day. Rent maps for sale. Professional guides. Don't get lost in the streets. Don't get consumed by Tolkeen's extravagance. Come here, come now. Good prices, I promise. Accepting all forms of credit and trade.
Well, that's
Al
neat.
would probably notice Patrick looking at the flan kebab.
Patrick.
Dude,
Yes, because
don't-
Patrick loves eating things.
I don't even understand how that would physics. Flan kebab.
You take flan and you put it on a stick.
Okay, now you lost me.
Done.
No,
You lost me.
Wait, I was with you.
Flan is like Jello.
No,
What? But
Yeah,
but
put it on a
yeah.
stick.
I don't see what's so hard to understand about that.
okay. Anyways, I think
Al would be like, well, that's a good place to start.
yeah.
Okay.
So Al would march up.
This individual, this DB individual who's been shouting out, he has a very interesting setup. As you can kind of see by the general illustrations, like those big N's are tents, the squares are structures, the smaller ones are vehicles and whatnot.
Mhm.
His location is like right here, which is really supposed to be a part of the main thoroughfare. And in fact, as he just has a small little podium that he kind of stands at, which is pretty short because he's not a very tall fellow. He's only about 4 feet tall, and the podium's only about 2.5 feet tall.
Hmm.
And as he rings out, a lot of traffic just goes around him, as if kind of almost ignoring him, and some of the main, I'm going to just say ley line traffic, for lack of better words, kind of grazes past him. A few times, actually, a big oar of what appears to be a strange type of rowboat that is kind of coursing down the little ley line path. It almost hits him in the head while he makes a quick duck, but he is aggressively protecting his little square of the marketplace. And as you approach, you kind of create some congestion as you converse with him. Nothing enough to give yourself in any sort of danger, but maybe just keep in mind that as you're conversing and staying there with them, you get a few nudges in the soldiers of people bumping into you. Some people are polite who just say, "Excuse me." Some people are less polite and give you expletives in languages that you understand and not understand. But he sees your group approach him, a quite sizable group, and a big smile courses across his face. And he has these short, squat, yellow teeth. And he says, "Ah, you're new. I can see it by your faces. Well, you need a guide. You need some assistance, do you not? Hmm?
No, Al walks away.
Okay. Fuck you."
Al would nod and he'd say, actually, yes, we could use a little bit of assistance. I don't think we need a guide, but I am curious about what kind of maps you have. And well, Al looks around. Is it well, I guess it's hard to tell from where he is. He wants to try and find out how doable it is to traverse this town on foot. Like, is it something that would take hours and hours to get from point A to point B?
Um, from your current vantage point, you can't really tell,
Mm.
but you could, when you were approaching Tolkeen, you could definitely estimate, since you have the mathematics skill, right? Even basic mathematics, you could estimate the general square footage of the area. What's the largest? Dallas is the nearest city that you're in, right?
Yes.
Take a quarter of the size of Dallas. Can you visualize that?
Yes.
Imagine walking that.
Yeah. So Al would say, we're interested in maps and perhaps seeing what kind of transportation there is.
Ah, good. Let me just try. Thank you for a moment. Let me just double check, because we all know how I am with estimations. I once gave you a ship that was as big as a fucking stadium.
For
A
everyone who
large
doesn't know,
stadium in
a quarter of
Texas.
Dallas is big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say big. Like, it
Yeah.
is a city-state, right?
Right.
It has to be big, right? Chi-Town's bigger, but not by much.
Got it.
Let me think.
5,000 miles. I'm just
No,
kidding.
not 5,000 miles. I'm just horrible with fucking miles because I'm Canadian. visualizing miles,
You
right?
you could just visualize it in kilometers and give us that.
Yeah, I guess I
Translate
could.
that.
Yeah.
I spent
And
6 years of
I-
my life dealing with kilometers.
Dude,
so
I'm pulling
good.
up a kilometers to miles calculator so we understand. Do it.
All right.
Stop
Give me
using the internet, you fool. Don't you know what lives there?
Wait, I'm not on the internet.
Okay.
Sanic.
Inferno actually left a comment on last session where someone was like, "Oh my god, those pixies are so annoying." It's like, imagine if they could get on the internet.
Yeah,
Cheater,
imagine
cheater,
if they
cheater.
were like trolls.
Oh god.
Cheater. Okay, give me a moment here.
Actually, while you do that, I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
Fine. You do that. You do that. I don't know why I just did that. Hello, Chad. How's it going? I'm actually kind of
So,
liking
Okay.
streaming.
All right. Cool. So it is Tolkeen is about 500 square kilometers.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Damn, that is impressive. Okay.
Mhm.
500 is around 311 miles squared.
Okay. Now, heads up, some of this involves some of the farmland to the exterior of the city, but like 90% of that square footage is the areas itself, right? Now, a lot of it's residential and all that other stuff, but yeah,
That's hefty.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's hefty. Yeah, it's a big city.
That's a big
Bigger than a
ass
stadium.
Yes.
Yeah, way bigger than the stadium.
You know what?
Mhm.
While that's happening, I am gonna actually question something.
Okay.
Um,
Oh,
a
boy.
bit retroactively,
Okay.
but at the checkpoint where it's like no blinding things, like can I? He's gonna then question them. Can I take my camera?
Oh yeah, your camera.
Not the
Oh,
stun
man.
camera.
Oh, just a regular camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll say yes, you can take your camera.
Okay. Is it okay if the flash is on?
Yes.
Sweet.
That can't blind. That can just no. Yeah. When I meant blinding, I meant fucking. You know what I meant by blinding, you little smartass. But I know what you mean. I guess you could blind. You did blind that one guy, like
Yeah.
very temporarily by flashing him. You also got a really good picture of him to send to the authorities. Those cyber snatchers, God, that feels like a lifetime ago.
Dude. That was so cool. That was a fun part of that parents post thing.
But yeah, Patrick knows better. He's not gonna bring his stun camera.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, no, looking at this big ass map right here, yeah, no, I'm very familiar. I'm very comfortable with my 300 miles square foot
Oh.
area. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh crap! I do
That's
have a
a big
question
area.
for you, Inferno.
Mhm.
Will there be a problem with Tom's necklace? The ISP necklace?
What? It doesn't have any offensive capabilities, does it?
No.
Then no.
Sweet. Because that's pretty much all he has, the ISP necklace and his ropes. That's it. Maybe some credits. Probably some credits.
Cool.
Yeah. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring along my computer.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, once again, you guys have so many items, and I trust you guys so much that it's good that you let me know ahead of time. It's great.
Mhm.
But don't feel like you have to declare each and everything. You know, if it's reasonable to say that you have access to it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's reasonable that you have room to carry it, then I'll allow it. You know, I'm not going to be. We could spend half the session going through the inventory of like, what do you have now? What do you have now? And
Oh yeah.
That's not
Various
quite the game.
markers, yay or nay?
I have-
exactly right. You're just like, come on.
I have like 5 pages of stuff. And even more with
Exactly.
Isaac. Oh my god.
Exactly. I know. In Rifts, you can collect a lot of things.
Yeah.
Is Squee back yet?
No, I don't think so.
Damn it. When are you guys
Dang
going
it,
to get to eat your
Squee!
clam kebab?
I
I want my
really
flan
would like
kebab.
that.
I want to know how it works.
I know exactly how it works. I've had all this time to think about it.
Just take out like a ruler. Like, how is it?
How is it so?
My distance finder.
I'm,
Just pointing away.
I'm really tempted. I'm really
Okay.
tempted to just buy one and then throw it on the ground just to see what happens. Then buy another one.
Sorry,
I'm talking
welcome
about-
back, Al. All I can think of
Welcome
is
back.
that part of Parks and Recreation where the health food store is handing out meatless bacon, I think it is, or vegan bacon,
Yeah,
and
vegan
like
bacon.
free samples. Like, can I have one? Sure. He throws in the garbage. Can I have another one? Okay, throws in the garbage.
Can I have another one?
Anyway,
No, I don't think you can.
so Squee, we have done proper conversions, and the entire square footage of the area of Tolkeen, which does include some intermittent farmland and residential areas, kind of in between these four main quadrants, is 300 square kilometers. I mean, it's 300 square miles.
So let's walk.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So we need transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
if we want to get anywhere, sure.
Well, anywhere quickly. So, this short, squat orange DB rubs his hand. He goes, "Excellent, excellent. Well, before I take you and show you my many means of transportation, allow me first to assist you in understanding on where you want to go. Now, are you sure you do not need a guide? My cousin Jethro is a fantastic person, and he is a bit of a layabout, and he could definitely use the employment. If, however, you want to figure things out on your own," he pauses for a moment. He goes, "Well, I have something, but I don't know if you'd be interested in it. It might be a little too advanced." Kind of looks away kind of slyly.
Al squats down, puts his elbows on the podium and his chin in his hands, and goes, "Oh, do go on."
"Well, if you insist." Al gets bumped once by a person. "Watch where you're going, clockface." Yeah, and then you see the DB, whose name you haven't gotten just yet. But he kind of gives this weird, like, he pushes both his elbows together, which maybe is an offensive gesture towards the person who bumped his customer. But he turns then towards you and he says, "Well, fine, since you asked so nicely, and since I like you, and I'm assuming you're not wearing any sort of helmet or anything like that, right?"
No. In fact, the only thing I am wearing would be the space
A big
jacket with
smile.
the ceramic plating.
Okay. So he'll say, "Besides, you elves are pretty quick learners." "Very well." And he opens up. He underneath. He kind of squats down low, and then out from behind the podium, he pulls out a small flat glass disc. And he says, "What does this look like?"
A small flat glass disc.
"Very good." And then he says for a moment, he says in a kind of little sing-songy rhyme, "Tolkeen to see, Tolkien to explore. Anything you can be more." And with that, that small, flat glass disc lights up in a brilliant violet light. And before you is a 3D representation of Tolkien. Very similar to any sort of holographic map, except this doesn't seem to be any sort of holographic device because you don't see any sort of electronics coursing through it. And he says, and in the center of it is a small orange glowing light. And he points to the light and goes, "That's me. That's where I am right now. This is where you are right now." And with a simple command of east, the holographic pans 1 block to the east. South. It pans 1 block to the south. And with these simple commands, you're able to get a very quick and pure picture of Tolkeen, of its many towers and spires and businesses and industries, all in violet 3D formation. What do you think about that? Think you can handle something like that?
Interesting. Does it have?
Interesting. Interesting. I'm the only one who has manufactured and sold these, and I've done so for 30 years. Do you know how much of it is a nightmare to update each and every single one of these things?
Al holds up his hands and he goes. Holds up his hands and he says, "Now, my friend, it takes quite a lot for me to think something is interesting."
Oh, I'm sure.
Does it have names or information of individual buildings or places?
Well, that depends, he says with a bit of a smile. Would you find that interesting as well?
Al says, "I'd find that impressive."
The squat orange individual says, then prepare to be impressed, my dear elven customer to be, for Rowan has exactly what you seek. Give me a moment. As I totally am not copying down his name. All right. Rowan says, extend your dainty little finger out towards whatever building you want.
Al extends his not dainty finger towards the building to his left.
So
Your
his middle finger.
passes through.
You're flipping him off. Congratulations.
You pass your finger through the light itself, and Rowan gives a bit of a tisk. He goes, you gotta say the secret word, which is show me. Now try it.
Al does the same thing again and says, "Show me."
And as you do so, the holographic, every other building and street around it fades away, very, very light translucent. And the building that you point to, give me a moment, as an example, highlighted in American script, says Power and Lighting Company number 5. And with that, Rowan says, considering we're speaking in American, I'm assuming you can read it just fine. If not, for a small extra fee, I can have this thing, have my device, that is, call out in my voice what you see and hear.
I'm tempted.
Don't
Oh,
be
what the hell?
afraid. Only because I understand that most people can't read, especially travelers coming into Tolkeen. Most of the locals know the area, and most of the locals can read. So, I mean, there's no judgment. That's what I meant by an advanced piece of machinery. But I assure you, the cost is not that much more high. That is, of course, if you don't mind the color blue.
Out of character. What the hell? We're rich guys.
Yep.
Are we? What?
Yeah. Al would say, well, if we did it that way, it would almost be like you're our own personal little tour guide.
Yes, I suppose so. That's a good idea. I should market that next time. Very well. Besides, my cousin's a loser. All right. Tell you what. I like you. You gave me that good idea. I'll give you a bit of a discount. He takes the purple holograph from his hand and he says, "Hide what I see," and it fades away. He reaches down. He takes out a blue disc, which is a little bit larger in diameter, but not by much. It's about the size of you could say a small dinner plate, or like a plate there where you put your bun or your bread on. A bread plate. There you go. It's about the size of a bread plate. He says, "I used to rent these out, but then half the time they were never returned, and it was a big cost. So unfortunately, when I sell it to you, it's going to be for the buy price, not the rent price. You understand?"
I perfectly understand.
And you understand that this is a sophisticated piece of personality, and for me to actually record my voice for each of these, I have to spend an evening actually calling out each of these building names, yes?
Yes.
So my time, of course, is very valuable, but I want to offer you a good discount. If you have the equivalent of 1,200 trade credits, you'll never get lost in Tolkeen again. I do sell conventional maps as well.
1,200.
Yeah.
I'm curious. This thing, obviously, you have it set up to map to Tolkien. Would we have the ability, since we are purchasing this for ourselves, would I have the ability to also use it to make my own maps of other places?
My friend, if you were to do that, you'd quickly run me out of business. And I have a very nice monopoly over here. I'm afraid not. No.
Fair enough. Well then, 1,200 credits it is.
Excellent, he says. And what kind of credits will you be exchanging with me? And he hands out his little credit chip reader.
Let's use Northern Gun, guys.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Save our coalition as much as we can.
Okay.
The Universal, because now, if I remember correctly, Universal is generally the more accepted one. But though this is Tolkien, but still, Northern Gun's fine.
Okay, great. And I believe you put all that on one cred chip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you pass over the cred chip, and he reads it for a moment, and he goes, "No, this is no good. I accept Universal, I accept trade, of course. I accept Tolkien's own credit system, but that's junk."
Oh, no problem then. And then Al will take the Universal credit chip. And he'll say, the Tolkien credit system, how would we go about exchanging credits into that?
Oh, well, you'd actually have to go to the, well, I guess you'll see soon enough on my map. But just a second, I'm going to pause for a moment as I quickly, totally not scanning through. I just want to get the right name. So my apologies. I'm just
No
looking
worries.
for the right name of this. I was not expecting that.
I just have this image of this short, squat guy going in front of every building, every library, and then walking to the next building. Power plant.
No.
House number B. Get off my lawn. House number C.
Number C. No, letters are not numbers. You stupid map.
Well, it was only 1,200 credits.
Only you bought a map.
Yeah.
You know
But
that you
it's
bought a map for
shiny
more
map.
than 1,000 credits.
A shiny map, sir.
It's very yes, thank you.
With voice.
Almost done.
Technically, I bought a GPS, sir.
Technically. Just so Inferno would keep using that same voice over and over.
Uh-huh.
Yay.
Just seeing Al just go around the street. That one.
Show
I
me.
can do that.
Show me.
That
Show
one.
me.
I wonder if he leaves in his mistakes. Like if he's like, the electric. Oh crap! I mean,
He
electric.
doesn't- What, Jethro? No, I don't have credits.
Are you recording this? No? Good.
Oh God, it's 3 in the morning. Bleh.
Jeffrey's the worst. Always interrupting my business.
I would click on every house just to see what they do.
Okay. So he says, oh, God damn it. Sorry.
No, it's
I
fine. We
just-
were distracting. It's fine.
Yeah. I had it and then I lost it. Okay. Oh, I think it's in your district right here. Wait, give me a moment. Oh, it is in the Eastern Quadrant. Okay. Where's 3? Yeah. 3.
You just pointed at building 3.
3. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, he goes, well, you're in luck. In fact, it's just around the corner past this main archway in the business district. You want to look for Tolkeen Economic Enterprises. They're relatively new, but they have a system of credits that cannot be forged like the ones that you just gave me, nor corrupted or tracked. It, however, doesn't use a credit chip reader. It is a more gem-based form of currency.
Wait. Hold up. You said that this currency that we just got from the Northern Gun can be forged.
Oh, I'd be very surprised if you got it from the Northern Gun, I'm afraid. Yes, you're very lucky, in fact, that I managed to update my credit reader to this year's model. Jethro dropped my last one, and I had to replace it. This one has a sophisticated scanner that tests algorithms that were previously hidden. Some hackers are extremely good at replicating credits unless people try to keep up with the technological times. I'm afraid that the chip that you just gave me is fraudulent.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Okay.
Anyway, as we were saying, now that you have this fine map in there, and I've taken you towards the economic works building, perhaps I can interest you in a means of conveyance. You guys want to pause for a moment and deal with what Jethrop is his cousin. What old Rowan told you? Feel free to.
There's not much we can do to deal with it. I mean, basically, we just lost 10 million credits. There's not much we can do.
Oh, now who
So-
said anything about losing 10 million credits?
We need to actually
If
go
they're-
to the black market to try and go, what the fuck?
Yeah,
fuck
but
is
we'd have to
this?
go to that specific black market because a black market here would just be like, I don't know what your deal was. I don't know what.
I guess.
The other alternative, okay, hold up a second. There are 2 other alternatives here. The first is that Rowan, for whatever reason, is lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
The other reason is, assuming what he is telling you the truth, he gave you some information that certain credit chip readers won't be able to notice the difference.
Yeah.
So technically, you didn't lose 10 million credits. You just can't use this. I mean, of course, there's an ethical question here. Don't get me wrong, right?
Yeah.
But technically, you still have it in a sense. But you have, for lack of a better word, imagine if I gave you 10 million in counterfeit money. You could easily fool a lot of people with that, but not everyone.
Yeah, but not the people we'd want to fool. I suppose we can keep it in case we ever run into people we don't care about fooling, but I'm not about to use this
Yeah.
for like a farmer and his goods. That'd be horrible.
Actually, farmer is good probably wouldn't affect credits because he couldn't eat it. But I know what you mean.
But I mean,
Yeah.
and not to mention the whole point of the Ipschming credits was to use whenever we go to a Northern Gun place, and I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts they can tell if their own credits are forged.
Yeah.
That's a fair assumption. That is a very fair assumption. Anyways, let me know when you're ready to slip back into character.
Yeah, I'm good.
I guess we
Okay.
should try and use this up first out of our pool. And I mean
Use what up?
the Ipshming credits that are fake. Or he's lying.
No. Okay, even if he's not lying, no, you want to hand a bunch of people fake money?
I don't know.
Think about it from a business's perspective. We use that to purchase something, and they then try and use that and find out it's not real money. That's food we've taken off their table when they rightfully
Yeah, I
gave us
know.
good products.
Okay.
I don't want to sound all paladin-y, but that's
Let me go more into the darker side of this. Let's just say we use our fake credits to buy something. Let's just say it's 10 million credits. We can probably buy something fairly large, like a vehicle or something like that.
Mhm.
Imagine that we hand them the fake money and they go, and they accept it, and then later on they go, son of a bitch, they freaking tricked us with fake monies.
yeah.
They would be
And
after
then they
our
try to
ass.
kill you. Yeah.
Right. Yep. So we just
We'll
okay.
have to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Suffice to say, I keep on calling him Jethro because it's a fun name to say. Rowan looks at you and he goes, now, may I show you a small catalog of the transportation that we provide?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. And now I'm looking at, let's see, I'm assuming you're all clumped here together by here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 of you, yes?
I think
Yes?
so.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. August, Alicia, Blink, Bear, Mila, and you 3. I'm not missing
see,
anyone.
says
Am
John.
What about Lee? No, just kidding.
We forgot Lay.
We forgot. What about the
And he goes,
no?
one of them is a bit larger in stature. So here, let me just flip through these first smaller personal vehicles, since that won't be working. Here we go. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to just list these out right now. There is a longboat model. There is a yacht model. There's a sailboat model. And there is a what looks like a galley model. Now, they definitely range in price. The longboat is the most cost effective, but it's really just a place for you guys to sit down, and it floats along the ley lines with a simple rudder to guide it along, right? But that can be rented for a low price of 50 credits per day.
Okay.
The sailboat model is larger. It gives you a lot more room. And there's a small section of the underdeck that has a small refreshment area. That doesn't come stocked, but you can store your own goods there. That costs 150 credits today. The yacht is a very large ship that can only go through main thoroughfares, but seeing the layout of the city, there is quite a few arteries you can still go on. You would just need to park it someplace and walk maybe a block to get in some of the smaller crevices of the city. But that comes with sleeping arrangements, sleeping cabins, I guess you could say, for up to 10 individuals, including a restaurant area, a games area, and both are fully stocked. That, however, costs 500 credits today. And the galley is like the yacht times 2. Double the space, double the room, and it's extremely extravagant, but that costs 5,000 credits a day. But it is like driving down the Rolls Royce of techno wizard boats.
Okay. So the second biggest. How many
You
people?
have the sailboat.
Yeah, the sailboat. How many people can sleep in there?
None.
I thought you said that they were like cabins and stuff.
No, the yacht. The yacht.
That
10
was the
feet.
Yeah, the yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
said the
meant.
second smallest, right?
No, it's the second biggest is what I meant
Second
to
biggest.
say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second biggest is for 10 individuals.
Then that sounds perfect. If you guys don't mind
Sure.
spending 500 credits a day on a place for food and sleep and all of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, even if we were here like 2 weeks, that's only 7,000 credits. We could handle that. And you got to imagine we'd also have to spend credits for lodging anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Now,
was
of course,
thinking.
I'm sure you could probably get lodging for less that, but I mean, this is both lodging and transportation. What's not to love?
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
Okay.
And heck, I'm sure one of the reasons coming here to Tolkeen was to have fun and explore. So might as well have fun and explore in a yacht.
Yeah. And
He
I
says-
don't think we want a galley, correct? Because 5,000 a day.
No.
Oh, jeez.
No.
But it's so big and beautiful.
I mean,
so,
what do I want to know Piff's thoughts on that.
okie dokie.
Specifically, our transportation.
Yes. You
Who's
wouldn't want the
driving?
biggest, right?
Who's driving?
I don't know.
The one thing that we need for a vehicle is it to move. Can we
Rowan
move it?
explains it's very, very simple. It has a big wheel. You just turn it to the left if you want to go left, turn it to the right if you want to go right, and there's a big old handle for you to pull for it to start and stop. Anyone can use it. It's real simple. I'll show you when I take you to it.
All right.
Okay. I'm mainly asking because 5,000 credits a day is a lot. And I'm not entirely sure Patrick would be okay spending that much a day.
No, he would not be okay with that.
Okay.
Especially since he would immediately point out we don't even need. There's clearly one that's a better price for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Besides that, I mean, galleys aren't like whoever says, "Hey, want to come check out my galley?"
But
Well,
hey,
back
wanna
in the
come check out my
day-
yacht and
Yeah, exactly.
instant wet in the pants. Yeah. All right.
Hey,
so,
Blake.
Am
No,
I
I'm
just
just
get back into character?
Yes, I think so.
So, as the group all confers as full, Rowan is eagerly talking up the features of each. When you finally says, he goes, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. If you could please follow me. And before he goes, he brings both hands on the top of his little podium and goes, and with a single little push, he squishes it down to a two-dimensional form, and he picks it up and carries it with him. He goes, follow me. It's outside the market. It's far too crowded here anyway. If you lose sight of me, just yell, Rowan, Rowan, and I'll come back. Come on, follow me, follow me.
Okay.
And he'll kind of guide you down back here, kind of back in between this kind of small street alleyway, which is clearly cobbled underneath the bottom of the arch. And in this area, this big black line is a beautiful stone wall. Back here in this alleyway, you see 3 ships kind of stacked up, not stacked up next together, but kind of lying there kind of next together. And sure enough, one of them is the yacht model. Now, it is still in good condition, but it is clear that when the pictures were taken in the magazine, they were when they were brand spanking new, and now this has clearly been used a little bit. Not awful. It's just there's a few splinters on the bow. There's some threads hanging from the sail. It's the inside is a little less spick and span, but still relatively clean. It just looks like it's been well used. You know, like a well-used hotel room, for lack of a better word. Makes sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
But still, it smells fine. There's no stains anywhere, anything like that. After he's done, he takes you a tour. He goes, fantastic. Now, obviously, I'll have to take a deposit on this in case you turn left when you should have turned right and create any sort of damage. I take 2 weeks as a security, 2 weeks worth of travel as a security deposit, and it is instantly returned to you minus what you end up using. So if you use this for less than 2 weeks, and I give you, say you use it for 3 days, I take 1,500 away from your deposit and give you the rest back. Sound fair? Sound fun?
Sounds fine, my good man.
Fantastic. And he once again he goes hip hip hip, and once again his little two-dimensional platform Palladum goes back up to a three-dimensional one as he once again retrieves his little credit card reader as he gestures for a credit card to choose from. And once I'm assuming you're doing the black market credits again?
No, we can't use the black market credits, right? The universal.
No, you could. The Northern Gun credits were the ones that were.
Wait, we could
No,
use.
but I mean, like, but the black market credits can only be used with the black.
Oh
market,
yeah, with the black market. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point. So the Universal Trade credits.
Yeah. Look, dude,
And
if
they-
he's
oh,
asking
classical
for
again.
black market credits, I'll straight up say, dude, we got this from your guys. What the fuck, man?
No, it wasn't. It was my bad.
Okay.
I misspoke. So just take 7,000, or maybe hold 7,000 credits from that.
Sure.
Or just keep a record on your group loot for me, if you could.
I will do that.
Because if you bring it back to your good Fed Rowan, you're not out 7,000.
All right, now we need to buy cannons.
Dude, that's
We're on a
exactly
yacht.
what the
Line them up
chat
on a
wants.
yacht.
Line them up on the
Dude.
broadside. Come on,
Dude, I don't think you guys are paying attention to chat. They want us to take this and keep this.
Oh, yes, because we don't have enough
It's
vehicles.
only good on ley lines. How
I
are you gonna
know.
get it off? Never.
They were talking about converting it into a hover boat.
Yeah, can it go to space? No, then I think we got it beat.
Yeah.
I still want
Okay.
cannons on the broadside.
I gotta say, Al, stop trying to weaponize all of our mobile things.
No.
I would like to actually drive in a city without just kind of going like, yeah, that car, it's got a freaking machine gun on top of it. Not allowed.
Machine guns
So-
save lives.
All right, so I'm gonna go through the narrative here of this again, and you transfer the money. He puts it. He'll say as he reimburses it, and he goes, "Okay, well, get aboard, and we'll get you going." Because clearly where you are, there are none of those small pyramids, nor are there any faint blue major ley lines or minor ley lines. Instead, there's one easily flowing here, by the way, but not in this alley that you're in. He goes, you stay still here for the next 10 minutes or so. I'm going to go wrangle up some help. And he disappears. He back down the alleyway towards the Grand Mall. 15 minutes later. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to immediately. I wanted to go, Al, you might want to follow him.
Al shrugs and begins to follow him back.
Well, now, what kind of skill are you going to want to do to kind of keep an eye on this little guy in the crowd?
Actually, Al's going to try and not hide himself at all, but follow him back and say, hey, while we're going back, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about this map?
Yeah, go nuts, he says, as
And-
as you keep up with him. I want you to roll me a D100, please.
Sure.
Okay. You're a little bit fortunate in the sense that you're able when you need to keep up with him, the crowd is relatively light. So you don't lose track of him. It's relatively easy. There must have been a small lull in the Grand Mall, and so it's only half a dozen people crowding around you rather than 20 or so people crowded around you. So go ahead and ask your question, and I'll give you the answers and describe what he's doing in the meantime.
Oh, no, I can do it more narratively. They're going to be questions designed to just anything he can think of to give him the reason to follow the guy. But he also wants to phrase it in such a way of he's constantly complimenting on how awesome this thing is. Like, oh, wow, that's really cool. You know, that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. Okay. Great. So, all right, good to know. He takes the compliments happily. And in between your questions, um, Rowan, there are okay. So right here is a building. It looks like it was hastily made up by logs, like maybe 5 days ago. You can still see sap running from edges of it. And on the front is a hastily scrawled in red spray paint that says muscle and then the number 4 and then a very misspelled higher, spelled HYREE. And inside, you recognize this species as the large, bulky, pig-faced orcs. There are about 6 of them standing around the table, drinking something out of brown bottles and playing what appears to be a card game. As Rowan enters the building, with you soon behind him, he goes, "Okay, 20 credits each of you. I need you to push a ship right around the corner." The orcs kind of look up and they say, 20? You pay now. And I was like, no, half now, half when you actually move your big butts on over. Come on. I thought you were muscle for hire. They shrug.
Al's going to try and see if he can assess who's like in charge here.
You don't have Monster and DB lore, do you?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Which
so
one
it'll be
looks
kind
the
of unskilled.
biggest?
Roll me D100.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, you don't know if it's always the biggest, right?
Right, no.
Must go for Hyrie. The biggest and the hairiest one seems to have the most chips in front of him as far as winnings go.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to guess that if he's not the leader, he's at least the better card player out of all of them.
All right. Then on the way back, Al would find himself walking near him,
Uh-huh.
strike up a conversation.
Okay, sorry, I'm just laughing because orcs aren't known for their conversation.
I know.
And he'll this big he's dressed in these like big baggy sets of overalls. He's pretty big and overweight even for an orc, but it looks like there's clearly quite a bit of muscle underneath of him. As he picks at the hairs of his chin as he sees you looking over at him, he goes, "What are you looking at, pretty boy?"
Al says, I was simply a little astounded. I don't think I've ever seen such a muscular orc before. I know.
I only understood half of that, but if you're hitting on me, I'm going to hit you, and not in the good way, with my fist.
Al shakes his head. He says, not hitting on you. He says in a dryly voice, simply impressed.
Oh, yeah? Wait till you see when we actually get to work. And and they all kind of, he laughs. And then the other ones who are like following in front of you kind of look behind and they just start laughing along with them. They don't know why they're laughing, but they're just doing it anyway.
He says a little bit more quietly, he's like, so how's business for you guys?
People don't really trust orcs. It's too bad. We thought it was different in Tolkeen. But no. But we do okay. We get enough to eat and drink and play with. And, Kalak has a good place that we squat in. It's okay for now.
I've found that a lot of it has to do with the image. People don't judge you for what they should. They see the first thing they see, and that's what they go off of. You know what I mean? They don't give you a chance to show. They don't give a chance to show how strong and good you really are. They just see orc.
Yeah.
Though,
I am an orc.
Al nods patiently. He says, "You know, though, I was looking at your sign. It's a good sign, but
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's mostly Koloff who, whenever, he's bored, he goes out and yells a little bit. We get more business when he does that, but he kind of hurt himself with stretched his throat out, yelled too loud. They
well,
gave him shit. It was funny.
I was just thinking, since you're helping me out and all, um, I could. Well,
Mhm.
I know we're paying him, but still, I appreciate the help. The sign in front of your shop, though, could do a little better if people see. Think of it, and he kind of throws his hands out wide in front of him. If people go by your building and they see an elegant sign that says "Muscle for Hire," that generates trust. That shows you know what you're doing. That might bring you more business.
What does elegant mean? Does it mean strong?
Yes.
Roll me a D100. Make it harder by 15.
Got it. Just subtract 15 from it, or add 15 or whatnot. So 40, 59.
59.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you carefully and he says, "Okay, but if you, I don't, listen, we hired someone else. We hired an orc. He seemed pretty smart and he put up that sign and he was fine with it. But if you put in your stupid little script that, we kiss each other, then I'm going to come and find you and I'm going to really punch you hard."
I tell you what, I will simply write something out for you. You go get a sign made exactly what it says, exactly how it says, and I'll even come back in a week. That way you won't have to come find me, just to make sure everything's going well.
Fine, he says. Deal. Need better business anyway.
Al nods, and when they get back to the airship,
Mm-hmm.
he'll he'll go to Patrick.
Well, let me explain to the other guys.
Sure,
So
sure, sure, sure.
15 minutes later, after Al and Rowan depart, the little orange DB and Al come with 6 big, kind of gross orcs in tow. And after a while, Al, you go up to talk to Patrick. I'll have you do that role play first before I explain what happens with the ship.
Crap, just stuck a carrot in my mouth. 1 second.
Instead, okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to explain what happens in the ship, and then you can retcon it then, Mr. Carrot Mouth. So for a few minutes, there is a heated discussion between Rowan and the 6 orcs, and Rowan is constantly pointing to the back of the ship, and the orcs are like, "Ah, no, more," and they're gesturing to their palms for more money. He's like, "No, no, 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 we made a deal." And then finally, after a while, they relent, and sure enough, the 6 orcs get to the back of the ship. And after a few curse words in a language that you guys don't understand, unless any of you can speak Orcish.
The answer's no.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Sure enough, your ship begins to move, powered by orc pushing, as it pushes you towards the ley line. And when you get actually to the edge of it, you don't have to get right on that little very, very faint transport ley line. You only actually have to get within 50 feet of it before it begins to take wing, I guess you could say, or take air. As the now sweaty browed orcs give a big sigh and go up to Rowan and collect their payment. Then the big bristly orc that Al was talking to points you on the ship, and it says, and he pretty much yells, "We'll meet you back at Muscle for Hire." And they plod on off towards their business, their thriving, booming business.
Okay, so while they're doing that, before they head out, Al would go up to Patrick and he'd say, "Hey, Patrick,
Hi, Al.
you seem to be pretty good at writing things with handwriting and notes. I mean, I'm my handwriting's not quite as good as yours. The sign for those orcs is, well, it's kind of pathetic. And I was thinking, good way to make friends that would cost us absolutely nothing is I told them that I could write down a good sign for them, have them go make that sign, and then they'd get more business. So I was just thinking, if you wouldn't mind, in good, strong handwriting, just write muscle for hire.
Like on a piece of paper?
Yeah. The idea is just give that to them and then have them take that and go make it into a sign. It doesn't cost us a thing, and it
Well,
might make us some
but-
friends.
Patrick will scratch the back of his head. Go, so you want the design or just the words?
Oh, the design would be good too. Just don't make it flowery. These are orcs we're talking about.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you help me out with
right.
this?
I'm sorry, Tom. I was thinking more of the writing of it. I didn't think of the design of it. Maybe you'd like to do it?
Listen, he has an art skill, Squee.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was writing, not drawing.
I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
How often does he get
Yeah.
to use art?
It's very true.
I think we can collaborate, Tom, on a few things.
Sure.
Yeah, in all reality, I was just thinking Patrick has creative writing. But yeah, and Al would just explain what happened, and he'd say, "Hey, look, it would cost us nothing, and it might make us some friends."
Sure. Here. And Tom will pull out his pocket computer with the from space that has that space Photoshop editing tool thing, and he'll start going to work.
Patrick will be over his shoulder giving suggestions, as well as he's going to give him the Elven script for such things.
Okay.
At least try to.
Okay, roll me roll me that language check. I want Patrick to give me the language check.
Mhm.
And I want Tom to give me the art check.
Okay.
No penalties to either. This is pretty basic stuff.
I succeed by 6%.
Okay.
I failed by 1?
Aww.
You add an extra E at the end of higher in Elven.
Damn. But the basic idea I had
The
was
American's fine.
was to set it up so it looks nice, muscle for hire, and underneath that is the subscript of Elven as just muscle for hire. But design it in a way so that it would be made out of metal, so that it would be strong and muscular and that kind of thing, so that we could, give that to them.
Okay. I can dig it. It takes you guys about 15 minutes to whip that up.
Mhm.
And what do you want to do next?
We would give them a copy of the design. Say, you guys know the city well enough. Find a good metal worker or someone to make that sign for you. And
Well, now here's the interesting thing. How do you give that to them? Do you give them the computer?
that's a good point.
You need to find a printer.
We do need to find a printer.
Yeah, we need
Or
to find a
business
printer.
tech is a printer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then Al
we
might
can
have
narratively do that. That's
Yeah.
okay.
So let's do that.
Okay.
Under the he'd make sure everyone's okay with it, but again, under the guise that this is really costing us nothing but a little bit of time, and
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have some big, strong friends if things are needed.
Yes.
Well, thanks to your new holographic map and your means of conveyance, you're able to find also in the business district. And we'll say this. I'm going to just ping this. No, come on, ping. Ping. That building right there is a print works. And the individual that you deal with, he's a very large, corpulent man with these auburn, this big flowing auburn hair in like ringlets, oddly enough. Is just short, squat nose and a big toothy grin, and he assists you in finding finding a printer that's compatible with your personal computer, transferring the data, and printing it on a nice large sheet of paper for a low cost of 10 credits.
Sounds good.
You take that design back to Muscle for Hire.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And as you enter the hastily built wooden building, um, the table that the orcs were sitting around has been flipped to one side. There's an orc in the corner with a very large bruised eye looking down rejectedly as the other five are across the other side of the room, kind of in a semicircle, kind of talking and looking over at the orc that's just sitting dejectedly in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Chips, I guess you could say poker chips, are sprawled all over the floor, as is a few broken bottles and uh, spilt fermented liquid. But with the exception of the black-eyed orc, the rest of them seem to be in a good mood. As the largest, hairiest orc that Al initially talked to sees you, and he goes, "Ah, you're back. Don't mind
Yes.
him. He's just a cheater." And all the orcs kind of just snort and bring their fists over to the orc, and he goes, "You stay there, Kargnak. You stay there. That's the cheater corner."
Al misses a step as inside his head he suddenly hears cheater, 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 cheater.
Vietnam flashbacks.
Vietnam flashbacks. My guitar.
But he recovers and he actually sets back up the table that's been flipped over, assuming it's not too heavy or anything.
No, you can pick it up just fine.
And then lays down the printed design over it, and he says, "You find yourself a sign maker, maybe a metal worker. Make this in some good solid steel. Put that above your door, and it'll make you look strong."
He takes a piece of paper in his hand, in his big beefy hand, goes, "Wait right here." And he kind of I don't want to say waddle because he's not that big, you know what I mean? But he thumps on out through the front door, and you can see through the archway, those of you who are looking in his direction. He grabs a passerby. This individual, he's thin, tall. He's wearing a cloak with a cowl on it, a purple cowl. He seems to be minding his own business when an orc grabs him by the cape. He looks around with a start, and this orc thrusts this paper in front of him. He goes, You read? What does that say?" And the guy goes, what? Uh, uh, Muscle for hire. And underneath of it is Elven script, I believe, that says something very similar. Very similar? He goes, "Well, yes, there's a slight misspelling with the E, but it says," he goes, "What does it say?" Muscle for hire. Nothing else? No. No spell, no trick? No. No picture of leaves? No. Okay. He lets the guy's cloak go. The orc comes back. He goes, "Okay, good. You're honest? We're honest. You help us, we help you. You're okay for an elf." And the other ones look over that. "But you played fair, and we like it when people play fair." He gives another disgusted look to the cheater orc in the corner. "Tell you what, we give you 30 free minutes of muscle. 1 hour of muscle from him," as he points over to the cheater. "Free of charge."
Oh man.
Al smiles and he says, "That sounds great. I don't need it right now, but I'll certainly come by if I do."
"Yeah, you'll see us. Soon you'll see new sign. Then we'll have all sorts of business."
With any luck, I'll have to wait in line.
"Oh, no, we work pretty fast. We smash through lines."
Al grins, but it's like that frozen grin, like the what? And then he nods, and then he takes his leave.
There you go. I love orcs so much. Especially in
No
this.
picture of leaves.
I see. I love that because, like, how is that even part of language?
Right?
Like, how can you not even? You can see that it's metal, right? There's no.
There could be some sort of trick. There could be a leaf in the scrawls. He doesn't know. Just make sure it doesn't say we kiss each other.
Got it.
It's a good thing you didn't roll 100 on that, because that was close.
Right.
So we get back
Oh,
on the
jeez.
ship, and then where to? Do we want to go drop off that mushroom? What do we want to do?
Speaking of, how are they going to be transferred? Because one's a bullet, and one's actually semi-dangerous.
Well, the bullet we gave to them, right? The security force.
Should we like just bring
did.
little baggies or?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a little
you
bag
gave
of
the bullet to
mushrooms.
the security people.
Yes, we did.
As far as the mushrooms go, what do you mean by deadly? I don't remember any of them creating any sort of offensive magic or
None of
any
them
damage
did.
effects.
The what?
Oh, go ahead, Piph.
The spore one.
Oh, where's the spore
one.
I don't remember that one.
I don't.
It was
remember that
trapped
one either.
around doorways.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I don't know if you... Well, here's the thing. Here's the big question. It's clear that people at the security desk, the security checkpoint, don't know what the mushrooms do, and they'll ask you about them. If you're honest and explain what they do, they will not permit it. If you're dishonest, they will permit it, but you would be lying.
Right. I would probably tell them the truth and ask to have this transported to the.
With the other bullet, yeah, they could arrange that. That's not a problem.
yeah. I mean, honestly, for our purposes, we only need one mushroom to add to the mix on our own.
Mhm. Perfect.
Yeah, basically just one for Patrick to go. Oh, and hey, I brought you this one too. It's me, Patrick, the guy, friend. Yes.
Yes, friend.
And
Yes.
it'd be really funny if she was an orc too. She's
Oh
just
my
a really
God.
smart one. No, not all orcs are stupid. Just
True.
stereotypically, a lot of them.
They obviously can tell we're cheaters.
They're
So that's
simple. Yeah, they're. I wouldn't say stupid. I just say they have a very simple set of goals and life achievements.
Mhm.
Definitely. Well, do you? Yeah, where do you guys want to go next? Well, here's the big question, I guess, for you. Since we're about, because Squee, you work tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
And we're getting about 18 minutes before 11 o'clock. My time, goodness knows, it's probably midnight your time, right, Squee?
About 18 minutes before, yeah.
So if you want to start something new, feel free, but then we might be going past that time. If we want to be time sensitive, we could just end now. What would you guys prefer? I'm fine with whatever because it's not that late for me.
I'm cool
Yeah,
with whatever too. I did just get yelled at to get some pasta, and I still need to grab that. I just need to I came back just in case we needed to shut down the stream. So I just need to know what we want to do.
Yeah. What we could do is we could end the session here and then spend a little time figuring out what we want to do next time.
Yeah, because you have a few goals. You might want to check up at Mercy Hospital.
Yeah.
You'll definitely, well, not you'll definitely, but you want to maybe access your data cache. And now that you have a really great map, you can probably find all the clubs or bars that have the letters, like start with the letter C,
Mhm.
right? And or other goals that you might have. Okay,
There is
cool.
one thing that I want. I want to spend at least a little bit of time shopping, checking
Yeah, no
out what
problem.
Tolkien has
We're
to
gonna-
offer.
We'll treat this very similar to New Laszlo, which is you'll spend as much time as you want to, and you guys will do whatever you like. You know, some of it will be narrative, some of it will be role play. We'll just indulge in the city. It'll be fun.
Cool.
Indeed. I will say that as far as like I'd love to go shopping too, but just as so you know, as a GM, I have no idea what to even expect, so I have no shopping list. It's more like just I want to go see what's out there kind of thing.
Oh, sure. Okay. Thanks for the heads up. I'll just have to come up with everything that Tolkien has.
I'm sorry,
No
but I'm
problem.
the same dude.
I know, and I don't blame you guys. It's just here's the thing: I don't want to just give you a lazy copy pasted list. I want to give you quite a variety of things, but I can handle it. It's no problem. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Don't worry,
I-
Inferno. I My shopping list is so far of one item, and I've already discussed it with you.
Oh, good, 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 good. No,
Cool.
but no, don't be sad, guys. And don't worry, I'm not going to give you a bare cupboard of stuff. I don't put you in a big, beautiful city like Tolkeen, and you know,
They're
not
just like,
give
yeah,
you.
we're out.
Yeah, we're out. We're all out of everything that you want.
You guys
We're
already bought a map.
No, no, no.
One.
Well, dude. Well, here's the big advantage. This might assist you considerably. There is, you know how I had that places to see in Tolkien?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I won't. I'll have. I mean, places to see in New Laszlo, places to see in Tolkien. I'm going to give you another list. It won't be as detailed because you won't have a complete and utter guide. You'll just really have your map.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be a lot easier for me to detail a lot of businesses and places like that where you guys can explore. And if I have those in mind, then I'll have their inventories in mind, and then we won't have much of a problem. So expect next week I'll give you kind of a list of places to see in Tolkien. And
perfect.
Yeah, sounds good.
that might give you at least something a little more concrete than, I mean, just exploring is great. I mean, a city like this, there's interesting things around every corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, cool, cool, cool.
I forgot about the flan.
The flag now.
The flag.
Okay,
we
so-
really
we could
did.
do that right now. Wait. We could do the flan right now.
Yes,
That won't
let's
take
do that.
very long.
Yeah.
The flan kebab. So, the individual selling flan kebab isn't a DB. It's a human woman. She looks to be in her mid 40s or so. She has jet black straight hair that goes straight to her shoulders, and she looks a little. She has like maybe a few extra pounds, but nothing major, right?
Mm-hmm.
She uh, and she has what appears to be like a wooden push cart, and the back of it is set up almost like a picnic table where she has a lot of these rows of this that she calls flan kebab. And on paper plates rests carefully crafted wooden sticks that have a pale orange gelatin like substance wrapped around it. Think of like a jello popsicle. Now, the interesting thing is that on these plates, although it is clearly gelatin, wait a second. Oh, wait, no. Give me a moment. It's a natural ability. You have to cast a spell. Never mind. What's interesting is that normally if Jello was resting on a plate, it would be displaced, right? It would kind of leak around on the plate itself, right?
Yeah.
Anything that it touched.
Yeah.
For some reason, this isn't.
Hmm.
And she sells them for 3 credits per kebab.
Okay. How many does everybody want?
One.
Are there
Squee?
different colors? It's
No,
important. My
they're all the
decision.
same. They're all
They're all
the
the
same
same.
color.
Just one.
Okay. So that's. Let's just
Squee
say
says with utter disappointment.
8. One for everybody.
Okay.
8 times.
Okay.
Oh god!
perfect.
For a second there, I was like, one for Patrick, one for Al, 6 for Tom.
She gives a big smile and hands them out after taking your credits,
Mhm.
which is a whole grand total of 24.
Okay.
24 credits, that is. She hands out each of the plate, and she says, she looks at you all, and by probably the looks on your faces, she says, "Oh, first time having a flan kebab?
Yeah.
Oh, you'll love it. Most people do, unless you're not allergic to nutmeg. No one's here allergic to nutmeg, are they?" All the NPCs shake their head.
I don't think so.
Al, am I allergic
She
to
goes-
nutmeg?
I don't think so.
Well, she says, "Well, don't worry. I used to be a nurse. retired now, so if you go into any sort of shock, I'll be able to help you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Enjoy. And
Owl.
okay.
So will Tom.
Now here is a bit of a conundrum that takes a while for your brain to match with your taste buds and your mouth. As you pop the tip of the flan kebab into your mouth and you take a bite, when it hits your lips, it's clearly gelatin. But when it hits your teeth, you clearly have to bite down. And when you bite down, it flakes off like a flaky crust of a pie. It has a slightly citrusy, like almost a lemony orange taste to it. But there's something else there that isn't nutmeg. It's a sweetness that you've never tasted before of an unknown substance, but it is very sweet and very rich as this substance kind of flakes off into your mouth.
Interesting.
I don't want to say specifically that your characters would like it, but compared to some of the dishes you've tried, this is on average definitely a lot more palatable.
Al will munch on it a bit and smile and go, you know what this would go great with?
I
What?
know. I'm not going to say.
Is it booze?
No.
Does it start with the word star?
Maybe.
God damn it. Al! You have an addiction. We're
all
gonna
have our
have-
vices. We all have our vices.
We're gonna have an intervention here. Oh boy.
Just wait until supply runs out.
You know what? I realized I should have you all roll a D100. Roll me a D100, everybody.
Okay.
Sure.
You get a 100, something bad's going to happen. Oh. Okay, no. None of you are actually allergic to nutmeg. If you roll a
Yes.
100, I'm going to have you
Actually,
go
oh
into
my god. I just thought I need to add a new objective. I need to find someone in Tolkeen that can reproduce the supply of Star Carboso because he's going to run out eventually. You got to imagine.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't have a resupply, so
Yeah.
maybe there's
You're
someone
gonna
here
need to
that can
find
make.
your ass a botanist.
Yeah,
Wait a second. Doesn't your ship have a botany lab?
Yes.
does. But okay, I'll say from this point, Al doesn't know what it's made out of, so he wouldn't have known to think that.
Fair enough.
But yes, this is going to
That's
now be a
right.
goal.
More of a concentrated juice. You're right. Not the actual plant itself. My bad. It's one of those concentrated juice squirt thingies. You're right.
Which
you're right.
I as a player assume is made from some sort of plant, but Al probably never.
Well, if it's from space, it definitely has to be some sort of plant somehow.
Yeah.
They're all vegetarians up
All right,
there.
so we have to go by that lady to give her the new mushroom so that Patrick can get the notes when he needs them.
Yes.
Find a bar for the data packet.
Mhm.
Actually, guys, I kind of want to stay away from Mercy Hospital. I don't want to go anywhere near the Baron again, if that's possible.
That's fine. I don't care. I'm cool with not going back there after we drop him off. Or no. We did drop him
No,
off.
they've already dropped them off.
He's already out of our hands. Yeah.
So, the mushroom thing is at Mercy Hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so she works at Mercy Hospital.
Yeah, she works at Mercy Hospital. She's the
Oh.
contact there. She's the
Well,
exploratory
so-
biologist.
Well,
Yeah.
then we will just avoid the patient area.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
if possible. And then the okay, so as a player, the Cure Morn, this is a good place to start looking, but I'm all for doing whatever we want to do here, having a good time, and going by Parents Post as well before we really kind of dig into that. But this would be a great place to try and find a step one, because right now we don't even know.
Yeah.
We know nothing. We don't know what has her. We don't know where to. So Tolkeen, I think, would be a great place to try and find a lead, and then maybe we can find a lead, maybe we can't. Then we go to Parents Post, and either from there we start following the lead if we found one, or we try somewhere else if we haven't. You know what I mean?
Sounds
So-
good.
Yeah, because she deserves some love.
You got anything to add, Piph, before I stop streaming? Piph?
What I need to do is get the Starkobosu, the essence of it, find its DNA.
You know,
You're gonna
Reverse
destroy
engineer.
every plant, aren't you?
but you know what? You were able to, at the very least, create something of a decent effect to help with Mila's tea.
Yeah, she has an addiction. How come you made her tea?
It's to keep her from being less broken and crazy face.
Just
It-
wait until Al has no more Starkabos.
Oh my god. Don't even.
Oh my God.
Don't stop with the melodrama, you little.
No, I don't know if he's.
No, I don't think Al would be literally addicted to it. It's more like me and Peach tea. I love this stuff, but it's not
Roll
like
a D100. Roll a D.
No,
You have to say. Maybe not. We'll
I
see.
done. My God, it has like some like they put space meth in it.
Oh god. Anyways, is there anything else we need to add before I stop for the
No,
day?
I think I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
Then
Great.
you guys
Thanks
have
for
a good
watching,
night.
everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Bye.